Greetings and salutations, not half pop pickers, out of Unit 1 into Unit 2. And how about a little bit of Dave D. Dozy B. Mick and you know who, all right? Wow. You've noticed the more perspicacious amongst you, that the more perspicacious amongst you. Slight change of scenery. And I'm on my own. I'm going to be absolutely brutal with you. He had to go. He had to go. I couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't take it. It was his cravat. It wasn't just his cravat. It was his stupid gloves on a Friday. It was his hats. I never really liked him. I'll be honest with you. I never really liked Phil Dave. He just had to go. That's all there is to it. Hi, everybody. Let's dash up straight away to Sunny Faith, to Sue Sleet, your son, Brainbox. Brainbox, that's Dave Sleet, of course, head of ANA. What is it? ANAA. Good morning from Sunny Faith. Hope everyone is okay. Not bad. Be honest with you, not bad. Paul Claridge, I love it because you get showbiz. Paul Claridge. Phil who? That's it. Knock, knock. Who's there? Phil Dave. Phil what? Finished. And I'll be honest, I never needed him. Never liked him, never needed him. Ramsey Wyman Salam, hi there. Good afternoon, Ramsey. Be honest, it was his constant interruptions. I know. Irritating. Always taking me off point. Chrissy Holt, hi Russ. Oh, congrats to your son. Well, we'll get on to that in a minute there. Thank you very much. Warmer here. How much warmer could it be in Spain? It's like a gazillion degrees there. BLT. Back later on the tube or bacon, lettuce and tomato? Bacon, lettuce and tomato. I've got so much to talk about today. I'm just whacking through this. Jules Silverman, hello everybody. Jules Silverman, hello to you. Andrea Lucas, I've got no jingle, so I can't even do thank you, big potato. Hello, have you been horrible about my friend Phil? Look, let's be honest, Andy. He's your friend, but he was never really my friend. I mean, what did he ever do for me? What did he ever do? Name one thing. One thing Phil Dave ever did. What did he do? Sit there and eat. Sit there and eat. All right, let's deal with some lovely stuff. A lot of you are saying, and thank you so much. Congratulations to twin number one. By 2 minutes. Twin number one yesterday got his university degree in mechanical engineering and automotive engineering, and he got a first-class degree. It's just the greatest. So we are absolutely thrilled, me and a significant other, absolutely thrilled for him. He worked his arse off for it. Didn't come easy. And he'd always wind me up and go, hey, Dad, hey, take a look at this. And I'd look at it. It could be in Serbo-Croat. It could be in Chinese. I literally couldn't read one word of the question. Couldn't read any of it. Morning, Russ. Michael Verby. Good morning, Russ. Where is Warwick Davis? Michael. I haven't seen Michael Verby since he was about 6 or 7 years old. Literally haven't seen him since he was about 6 or 7 years old. And if you ever get back from Spain and you come down to London, we can just sit, because we won't recognise what the hell. Well, you might know what I look like, but I haven't got a clue what you look, because if I was in a restaurant waiting for you, I'd be looking for a 7-year-old kid to walk in if it wasn't you. I see me and Phil share the same birthday. I'm the big 50 on Friday, says Mark J.W. Thomas. I love it. I love the J.W. bit. Mark J.W. Thomas, producer of The A-Team. If you can find them and if you can hire them, you're in deep shit. Mark Thompson. Hello, everyone, says Veronica Curran, all the way up in Edinburgh. So we've got Fife, and now Veronica Curran up in Edinburgh. And then we've got, obviously, Chrissy Holt over in Spain. Yeah, anyway, back to twin number one. Everyone's saying lovely things. I've never had such a reaction as I have on Facebook. About nearly 500 people piling in saying well done. It was nothing to do with me. I have no mechanical engine. I can't change a plug. I am that thick. I can't do it. I can write. I can do creative stuff, mechanical stuff, anything to do with tech. I don't know. How about you? Can you do it? I can't do it. So I'm really, really thrilled. It's from the University of Bath, which has the greatest reputation for mechanical engineering. And now we just wonder what he's going to do. Go off work in Subway. Who the hell knows? I mean, I don't know. The world is his, as in the immortal words of Del Boy, the world is his lobster. So it's very, very exciting. I'm very, very thrilled for him. I take no credit whatsoever. My significant other, she is thrilled beyond words, you know. Been there since he was 5 years old, when his mum sadly passed away. So it's a very big deal. It's a lovely thing. And frankly, my work's done. I'm just going to go off and permanently drink single malts, smoke cigars, do radio shows, meet lovely folks like yourself. That's it. I'm done now. They're on their own. They're never on their own. They're always our babies. A few things I do want to say. I'm wearing this. Can you see it? It says Beanie, Kane and Viner out of lockdown. What could possibly go wrong? Made by Lloyd Beanie. Thank you. Today, many of you know that my two best pals are Lloyd Beanie, God knows why, and Larry Viner, even worse. I appreciate and I understand it reflects very badly on me. There's nothing I can do about it. I can only apologise. But you get the friends that you can afford. And, you know, it was bargain basement time. Larry's daughter is getting married today. Think about this just for a moment. Your father-in-law is Larry Viner. Your father-in-law would be Larry Viner. Hi everybody, meet my new family. This is lovely Suzanne Viner, charming and delightful. And the man dressed up as a penguin is my new father-in-law, Larry Viner. What could possibly go wrong? Michael Verby, wasn't Hilda Ogden the first to say lobster? I've absolutely no idea. That's like Coronation Street. Why would Hilda? Okay, here we go. First of all, and Mark J. W. told us happy birthday for Friday, turning the big 50. Want to swap? And Michael Verby, I don't know. I've never watched Coronation Street. The last time I watched Coronation Street, literally, I'm not kidding, it had Ina Sharples, Minnie Caldwell. I don't know anything else. It was in black and white, and I thought, God mighty. I just hear the music, I get depressed. Can't bear it. I know other people absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Anyway, many congratulations. What does it kills me? To Larry Viner and why his wife puts up with him, God only knows. The lovely Suzanne Viner. And to Amber, not the little cockapoo, not Amber the cockapoo, Amber, his daughter. Many, many congratulations. How lovely. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, Larry. Enjoy. Some of you, the more perspicacious amongst you, will be thinking, well, who's your best pal? Why weren't you invited to the wedding? That, my friends, is the point. That is the point. I had a phone call from Lloyd Beanie. Hey! Have you been invited to the Viner wedding? I went, no. He said, neither have I. So we see where we stand. It's fine. It's fine. We see where we stand in the pecking order of importance. We're not there. It is what we term the beginning of a broigus. Not a row, not an argument. This will be a broigus that will last for the next 30 years. 30 years. Broigus. If you don't know what a broigus is, It's the most wonderful, wonderful thing. Because no one can ever remember how the hell they start. No one knows. No one has a clue. Don't sit Auntie Sylvia next to that woman. Why not? There's a Bruegger's. What was it about? Who knows? When did it start? 45 years ago. There's still Bruegger's? Yes. Sue Sleep. Haven't seen Coronation Street since I left home. Good God Almighty! Since you left home 51 years ago. Did you say goodbye? Did you say you were coming back? 51 years ago. What the hell happened to Sue? Where's Susan gone? Where's she? Have you seen her? Haven't seen her for 51 years. It's another Bruegger's. Did she leave a note? She left the light on in the bedroom. Unbelievable. Do you think she's coming back for that tea and biscuits? Don't know. 51 years. Anyway, so that's the coronation. That's the Coronation Street thing. Life is very fragile, isn't it? It's very, very fragile. And there's two people I want to say get well to. And both of them are really it's really, be honest, it's upset me. Not as much as it's upset the families. First is Leslie Demeser, otherwise known as Lovely Demeser, who I turned my back for 5 minutes. Another disaster. She, I don't know if she fell over, she slipped over, she was drunk, she was on, she was smoking crack. I don't know. But she smashed her elbow, whipped off to hospital straight away. Another operation. She's only just got over the last one. Another operation. And she posts X-ray pictures of her elbow. You know, when you were kids and you saw Meccano sets, right? You saw Meccano sets? Yeah? That's what her elbow looks like. I swear to God, her elbow looks like a bloody Meccano set now. It looks very, very painful. She can't answer the phone because she's only got one hand that works. So she's sort of semi-bionic. So, Lovely Demeser, I'm not sure. Paul Claridge. Perhaps Men's Radio should make an alternative to Coronation Street, call it Consternation Road. I think perhaps for many of us it just be Constipation Street. That would be it. Takes a whole new meaning. I will forever be 7 years old and I don't care. And the other person I want to say a huge get well to is another absolute close friend, the wonderful Jane Kerner. Jane, few people make me laugh as much as Jane does. We met when we were both on what they call the Crew, which is the steering committee of Variety, the children's charity. Jane's still there and I left some years ago, having been Chief Barker, etc. But I did. And because both our names begin with the letter K, we were always sitting next to each other. And so when people were really boring for Britain, we'd be writing stupid little notes to each other like we were in the back of class. This is what we do, right? This is what my friends and I do. This is what we do. We're sending little notes like, God, won't he shut up? Or what a total arse this person is. All the sort of things you do in committee meetings when you look like you're sitting there and you're being, yes, that's a... Let me contemplate that point, Lawrence. That's a very, very interesting, not in a million effing years. Passing notes back. Anyway, Jane's not well. Jane Kerner's not good. She's at home now. Jane, all of us here at Men's Radio Station, and we send our love to you. Get well soon. Lots of love to the family as well. Don't normally do that. It sounds all a bit radio too. But these are very special people under extraordinary circumstances. Glassy Amanda's not well. What's that? Well, that's the trio. That's the trio. Paul Claridge says, get well soon, Leslie. Leslie Demeser, Lovely Demeser, Jane Kerner, and Glassy Amanda. What's the matter with Glassy Amanda, whose real name is Amanda Glass? I only found that out the other week. And wish you well. Wish you well. Yes, thank you, Chrissy Richards from Spain. Absolutely. We don't want to turn this into a health fest, but it's so important. Health. Without it, you got a zip. I dread things happening to my friends. I don't know how you are about this, but it's like marking your calendar. Do you know what I mean? It's like marking your calendar. It really, really... I don't believe it. She's in Malta. I think she's in Malta. It's only Penny Horner, not half pop pickers. Out of you one into unit 2 with Penny, you know who, all right? I thought you'd be on holiday. Anyway, hello to you, Penny Horner. I saw your picture of you taking off, so I assumed you weren't flying in from Richmond to Jermyn Street Theatre, and you actually had managed to get away. Enjoy, relax, just switch everything off. Just checking up. Like what? Just checking up. I love it. I love it. Just checking up on what? And now checking out. Bye-bye, Pen. Have a good time. We're all good. Everything cool. This sounds like Russ is starting a national hospital radio station. Really, I'm not. This one's for Ramsey Wymasalem, who's halfway through a facelift. I'm not. The point is, when people that you care and love and, you're very close to, out of the blue get horribly ill with serious stuff, you think, ooh, I'm dodging the bullet, but how much longer am I dodging the bullet for? You kind of mark your card, don't you think it's important? Anyway, so Ramsey says, cheeky sausage, he says, this sounds like Russ is starting a national hospital radio station. Oh, this one's for Ramsey, who's halfway through a facelift. It's Jimmy Savile with Don't Leave Me This Way. And honestly, we have the best folks. Paul Claridge, you sad. Get back up your ladder and shut up. Must say that's an impressive microphone, Russ. Are you compensating for something? Baby, if I was compensating for something, I'd be sitting here with the Jodrell Bank telescope. Ooh, in your face, Claridge. Chrissy Richards, quote. Chrissy Richards, you're in good form today, everybody. Thank you so much. A quote, to have a good friend is one of the highest delights of life. To be a good friend is one of the life's most difficult and rewarding undertakings. You've met Beanie and Viner then, have you? You've met them. Our catchphrase, I'll explain if you don't know why. Our catchphrase is what could possibly go wrong. Namely because whenever the three of us meet for lunch, something always happens. You set out with the best of intentions, something always happens. Yeah. When my mum passed, which is not a laughing matter, but it was a merciful release after 16 years of Alzheimer's and dementia. Mum passed. It's the funeral. It's the funeral. And we're by the grave. One of the most solemn moments you could have in your life. And I put the first spade of earth on Mum's coffin in the grave. And I walk away. And I suddenly hear the most God Almighty crash. And I thought I was thinking it, but allegedly I said it out loud. You have to be effing joking me, right? Lloyd Beanie's wife, Hazel, comes up, looks at me and goes, I'm just so proud. Leaves it at that and walks off. Lloyd, being my closest friend, had taken the shovel to put the next earth. It's an honour and it's a privilege and it's something that you do for the person who's mourning. In his enthusiasm to clearly bury my mum, he puts the earth in and he lets go of the spade. Bang! Goes the spade on Mum's coffin lid. So they have to send people down into the grave to retrieve the lid off the lid and pick up the spade. So I'm thinking, can I not have to be the clown class even at my mum's funeral? Would it not be possible for me to have some tiny section of decorum where I didn't have to pretend to be the idiot and do jokes. But I thought, I better lighten the mood because my best friend is so embarrassed in front of the congregation. So I walk up to the officials at the cemetery, Bushy Cemetery. I walk up to the officials, who are not a bundle of laughs, I've got to tell you. And I go, well, I'm trying to lighten the mood. So I go, well, I bet that happens all the time. And the guy looks at me and goes, I've been here 37 years. That's the first occasion that has ever occurred. You'd think Beanie would leave it at that. No. The next day, there's a picture on social media. He's had another T-shirt made which says, what could possibly go wrong, with a huge picture on the front of the T-shirt of a spade. As Chrissy Richards says, I bet Mum had the laugh of her life. Do you know what? My mum would have found it hilarious. That's the worst. She had such a wicked sense of humour. I miss my mum and dad a lot. I dream about them every night. Every night. Any night I don't dream about them is, to be honest, a bit of a relief because I wake up exhausted. Do you have strange dreams that, especially your parents, because many of you have lost your parents, and my dad died in, when did he die? 21 years ago. And Mum went about 3 years ago. But she would have absolutely loved it. She would have thought it was hilariously funny. And to be honest, so did I. So I think so. And Michael Verby, sadly, now Michael Verby, I knew his mum and dad very well. They were best friends of my parents by pure chance. As I said, I haven't seen Michael since he was 6 or 7 years old. And Anita was his mum, the most glamorous woman in London. Seriously, looked like Elizabeth Taylor, extraordinary looking woman. And Anita went the same way, I'm afraid. Awful. How would you feel if we did a whole show, which is something I really want to do, about dealing with dementia? How would you feel about that? It's such an important subject. I would really like to do it. And I'll tell you why I want to do it. Because all the other radio stations, when they do it, they get some expert on. The expert spouts stuff for like 3-4 minutes. Thank you. And now here's Maureen with summer fashion. I don't want to do that. I really want to dig deep. It's a huge, huge issue. I've been invited this evening to do something, and I'm seeing my friend Hillary O'Neill, the cruise ship turn. It's now an agent and everything. I'm going to see something. And her mum, who I've known for, 30 years, she's fighting it. And it's horrible. And I've been trying to talk to Hills about it. And Hillary said, yeah, she'd come on and talk about it. Would you like that? Would you find it important? Glassy Amanda. Now, someone just said you weren't well, so we wish you well. I don't know what's the matter with you, but Glassy Amanda, we should please do a whole show on it. I will. I'd very much like to do a whole show. What I'd like to do is get a couple of experts on. But I think more importantly, to hear your experiences. Because you don't get that. And as much as, and I've asked Hillary, she doesn't mind me discussing this. I said, would you come on? She said, yes, I would. So I'm not saying anything that I wouldn't, I'm saying it publicly, but I've asked her first permission, which is correct and proper. But as much as I tried to prepare one of my dearest friends for what was in store for her, having gone through it with my family for 16 years, nothing prepares you for it. Nothing. So, Michael Verby and your sister Stacey, my heart goes out to you. It is awful. It's like watching someone you love drown. Somebody very close to me is experiencing this with one of their parents. It's horrible. It is my greatest fear. My greatest fear. I'll be absolutely honest, and this is about as serious as I ever get. More than cancer, I fear getting dementia or Alzheimer's. I couldn't bear it because a part of you, deep inside, initially knows what's happening. There's still that tiny little nucleus, that little kernel inside that, You know what's happening, and you're trying to fight it, and you can't. And it's brutal, and it's sad, and there's no upside to it. There's absolutely no upside to it whatsoever. Normally with a situation you can say, well, with treatment, even with cancer, you say, well, with treatment, this is what we get. Paul Claridge, living example. Absolute living example. Loads of people, they get through cancer and they lead a full, active and wonderful life. Dementia, ain't going to happen. Alzheimer's, ain't going to happen. It's only going to go one way. I wish they could do something about it. One day, maybe, way in the future, they will. Veronica Curran up in Edinburgh. Russ, definitely a whole show. A neighbour of my my eyesight's rubbish, was it say? A neighbour of my 88-year-old mum, both were taken through dementia and Alzheimer's. I spent daily visits with them, and it was so sad. I always believe the person is still in there. That is such an interesting point. Somewhere deep, deep, deep inside is that person, but it's hard to hold on to that. It's really hard. I'd be absolutely frank with you. I used to come out from seeing my mum in the home, and I'd sit in the car and cry my eyes out. And I dreaded going, which was even worse because I knew she didn't know who I was. Didn't know who I was for the last 2-3 years. Hadn't a clue who I was. Lived a complete fantasy life, and horribly cruel. Sue Sleet up in Fife. There's not enough research that's going into dementia illness. I don't know. I wish there was more because it is brutal. It is absolutely brutal. Ramsey Y. Masalam. Can we also discuss the issue of assisted suicide on another date? Wow. Yeah, we could. I've always felt that if I ever got to that stage where I've gone mentally and my family have to see me being cared for everything, I'd rather have the dignity of ending my life. Am I in the minority? No. This is such a complicated issue. We can only brush the surface of this, Ramsey, but I've often thought I would not want to be a burden to my other half. I couldn't bear it. I wouldn't want to be a burden to my kids. Well, actually, I'd like to be a burden to some of the kids. Screw them. Sod them. What have they ever done for me? Nothing. But I don't want to be a burden to all of them. And I'd rather just go. But of course, by the time you're in that bad state, you're in no position to make that decision. There's no way my mum could have made that decision. When she was my mum, sure. But not when they're in that state. You've got to make the decision for them, and you can't do that. Paul Claridge, yes, Russ, you must do a dementia show. I've seen it take family and friends, and I've helped a couple of close friends cope when their mothers were taken by it too. You see, I suspected this was far, far more common than people let on. I've always suspected this, and it's something I want to do with you, not for you, but with you, with your help, with your cooperation, with your contribution. I think it's really important. Veronica, they live points. What's Veronica saying in big capital letters? So I don't know if she's shouting at me. They live points of their life from earlier points in their life. Yeah, they do, but they also completely invent a life that they never had, and not for the better. Not always for the better. Weird. The stuff my mum would do. I tell you what I did. Let's just do Michael Verby's point as well. I had a neighbour come to me and explain that in 6 months' time she wouldn't be able to recognise me. Oh, Christ. Brings back horrible memories, everybody, I've got to tell you. Michael Verby, who's still out in Spain with his sister, he went out for 24 hours, he's been there 6 weeks. I had a neighbour, you think I'm joking, I had a neighbour come to me and explain that in 6 months' time she won't be able to recognise me because she had onset dementia. God almighty, you know that's happening to you. So you can see, not shout thanks, Veronica. It was the numbers. I can see fine. Thank you. Sweet of you, and I appreciate it. Oh, god damn. But I'm sorry to be morbid, but it's really interesting that viewing figures are shooting up with this. But we're grown up. It's not a question of being morbid, it's a question of being grown up. We are, many of us, I'm past one stage of it, but many of you are the sandwich generation. You got your kids and you got your parents. And your parents are getting elderly, and suddenly you become the parent to your parents. See what I'm saying? You understand you're the parent to your kids. You always will be. Doesn't matter how old they are, they'll always be your babies. And their problems are your problems. That's what family is. You'll always love them unconditionally. Maybe. But your parents turn from being your parents, who were like the rocks in your life, in some cases dragging you down. I'm kidding. And suddenly they become your children. And that is such a mind, it messes with your mind so badly, because you don't want your mum and dad to be your children. You want them to be your parents. You want to go pick up the phone and ask for advice. You want them to be the people that you knew they were. You've answered my questions, gang. This is something I'm going to work on, and I'm going to set the team to find the best people. I've got, right, I'm just going to do a Gavin, I can see my guest sitting very patiently with a look of like, what the hell have I let myself in for? Anyway, look, don't feel bad for my guest, because he's in the digital green room. He's having digital coffee, digital tea, there's champagne, selection of wines, there's Jack Daniel's single malt. Fabulous. My cousin Francine's done the buffet. Beautiful. There's mini bagels, mini Danish, some bridge rolls. He's relaxed. I've got to read some of these questions. I'll be with you in a second, Gav. Paul Claridge, I spent an amazing day with the amazing Terry Jones. Oh, my God. I saw Terry Jones in the middle of his Alzheimer's. Christ. I was so upset. I'll be honest, it really upset me. I spent an amazing day with the amazing Terry Jones after his diagnosis. I've never met him before. We had a mutual friend. On that day, it was as if we'd been friends for ages. Sue Sleep. The worst traits of my mum's difficult personality became her dementia personality. Sue, couldn't agree with you more. They can become absolute monsters. Near her, I don't know which is, this is Richard Vero, who I was at school with. Richard Vero, dialing in from Germany. I'll be with you in a minute, Gavin. Just got to deal with this. It's important stuff. Russ, my sister has severe dementia. Richard, you old mate, I'm so sorry. Richard and I were at school, as I said, together. And he lives in Colditz, not the castle, but the town. She doesn't even know who she is herself, right, let alone us. Fortunately, our family can afford to give her the best possible care at home, but it's a terrible thing. So many people must be affected so badly mentally by dealing with it. It brought me to my knees. Let me introduce a very special guest to you. I love it. Well, to me, getting to the local shop and coming back is a big deal. This guy is going to blow you away. Let me welcome Gavin Towers. Hi, Gavin.
Hello, how are you doing?
We're okay, thank you. How are you?
Wonderful. Very good, thank you. Excited. We're nearly at the start line for this record attempt.
Right, so let's just position this for everybody. When I knew I could get you, I thought this is too terrific not to have you as a guest. We don't normally have guests on a Monday or Wednesday, but making a big exception. Tell us what you're setting out to do, because when I read it, I went, what the hell? Off you go.
So we're cycling, or I'm looking to break a record for cycling around the coastline of Great Britain. So that's 4,802 miles. The current record was set in 1984.
4,000. Just do that again. Do you know why I'm laughing? I'm laughing because I'm thinking, if I get a bike, I could cycle to Tesco, but Jesus, it's about 1.5 miles. I'm not sure I could be asked. I'm going to drive. How many miles is it? Go on.
So 4,802, which is
right.
average of 230 a day.
Get out of Dodge. Get out of here. 230 miles a day.
Yeah, on average.
I hope you got lots of talcum. I hope you got lots of talcum powder and Vaseline, because your ass is going to be killing you.
Padded shorts and the necessary chamois cream, all packed.
Wow. And what? And apart from, oh my God, this is amazing. Why are you doing it?
there's quite a few reasons. You know, when I unpack it, I wanted to do a challenge this year. Last year, my daughter, who was 10, cycled Land's End to John O'Groats in 22
Get out.
days.
She's 10?
Yep. Yeah.
Did you just threaten her and say, no more pocket money till you get to John O'Groats? That's it. And you're going to have to eat Brussels sprouts every meal unless you make it.
There was a moment where I said, this is phenomenal. You don't have to do it. If you want to do it, then by all means.
Unbelievable.
Then my son, who was 8, did 150 miles on his bike in 5 days. He really wasn't that bothered about doing that. And I looked at them both and I thought, inspirational, yes. And also, you know, they've been giving me permission to go out on my bike, and I need to do something where I take a little bit more responsibility for myself. I have an eye condition that makes it even more challenging. So it was a moment where I had to take stock of what was going on with my health, with my eyesight, and find something that really would force me to engage with it, where I'd been trying to sideline it and ignore it in many senses.
So Gavin, what's going on? What's going on with your eyesight? What's happening here?
So I have a condition called retinitis pigmentosa, or RP, which is tunnel vision and night blindness. That's the broad strokes.
Do you know my dad had that, Gavin?
No way,
I'm
really?
horribly familiar. My father had it.
Wow.
He was legally blind at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived with that with Dad for many years. So
you'll know all about it.
I don't know about all about. I don't know about it like you know about it, but as trying to observe it, it was a real thing.
It can be. Well, like I say, it's difficult. We all have challenges, and I think one of the biggest realizations had to be that we all have challenges. We all deal with them in different ways. You know, we face them every day. And what I think I had to do was I had to be prepared to acknowledge that. I had to be prepared to ask for support, ask for help, and recognize that that's okay. You know, whether that's a physical challenge, a mental challenge, it's okay to ask. And what you
why would you feel it wasn't okay to ask for help, though? What goes through your mind when you think that?
I think lots of people have that idea that to ask for support might be considered a weakness, or somehow that we're not deserving of it, or when I think with my condition in the beginning, I wasn't fully aware of the diagnosis, but it was more I just need to pay more attention, I need to focus more, be more diligent, all those kind of tropes, instead of going, oh well, there's a problem, how about I ask, get some advice, get some support. And it's been really helpful because it's also about, as you've experienced, family around you understanding the challenges that you're facing, maybe arranging the house slightly differently, trying to ensure that you're as grounded and as calm as possible, because you're dealing with adversity, or you can be all the time. And a challenge of this magnitude really forced my hand. We couldn't go into this challenge in any kind of soft touch kind of way. We had to be diligent. We had to look at all the different factors, take into account the different considerations, and hopefully they'll all come together well in the coming weeks.
It's both admirable and sort of inspiring, and when we meet people like yourself, it always makes us feel completely inadequate. Every time we meet superheroes like you are, it makes us feel totally inadequate. How did you get into cycling?
I've always loved cycling.
Clearly crazy about.
Yeah, I've always loved it. I always loved the sense of freedom that you had when you're on a bike and going and exploring new places or going on different adventures.
Well, I take it you don't live in London then.
No.
Yes, that's why you like cycling.
Yeah, we're on the edge of the Lake District, and it's
gorgeous.
It's great. Where we are as well, it's fairly quiet, but you've got the beauty of the lake. So you don't have the masses, the throngs of people, but you do have the gorgeous scenery, the sea, the hills. So from a cycling perspective, this area is wonderful.
Yes, that's beautiful.
And it's just nice to get out, stay healthy, stay fit. And this is also things, diet. what you're drinking, what you're not drinking, all those kind of things have had to factor in. So I feel
Explain.
really good.
Hang on. Well, don't rush past that. Like, explain what you mean. What you're drinking. Because I hear that another way. I go like, "Hey, Gavin, what are you drinking?" Okay, get it. 2 pints. That's basically that's what I hear. That's what I hear. You see.
When I was in the waiting room there enjoying the champagne, all the other treats that were laid on.
It was really the 47 Bollinger. I pushed the boat out for you.
Loved it. No, I appreciate that.
Not at all. It's my pleasure. Hey, that's what we're about here. Hospitality.
But up to this point, I've cut out caffeine, which was unheard of. Cut out alcohol.
Why? Hang on. Whoa. Why did you cut out caffeine, man? I can't start the day with it. I've got to have a strong coffee. If I don't have my coffee, I'm like a zombie.
Yeah.
This is me with coffee. God, imagine me without coffee. I'd be. Here's Gavin. It'd be that.
Beer in the evening, or Bollinger in the evening to go to sleep. Coffee in the morning to wake up. I mean, in some levels, that's the dream. That's the dream scenario.
So when you cut out coffee, because loads of people, I know this is not why you're here, but loads of people are really interested in this stuff, and they are. Right. Did you get withdrawal symptoms?
When I tried to do it in the past, I did really quite badly. I just get quite bad headaches. Whereas this time around, not at all. And in part, I suppose I was really clear. It's something I really want to do. But no, it's not been too bad. Although I can feel myself, even on the decaf coffee, sometimes I'm drinking decaf in the same way I would have caffeinated coffee, waiting for the hit.
Decaf. What a stupid... Do you want a coffee? Yes, I do. Have a decaf? It's not coffee. It's just Sonic, but it ain't coffee. No, that's the point. No. No, it's interesting because I've stopped drinking during the week. Can you believe it? Okay. I know. I can't believe I'm saying these things, but I'm giving it a go to see if I can do it. Have you cut out alcohol?
Yeah.
I'm not sure we can be friends, Gavin. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm being
not the first person to say that to me.
I'm really not sure, man. Things were going well, but you don't have coffee and you don't drink. I don't suppose you smoke cigars, do you?
No, but I had a great chat with somebody yesterday who paddled over the British Channel in a kayak and halfway stopped for a cigarette, which I thought was great. The image that was painted in my mind.
I'm sorry, I know it's so not politically correct. It's genius. What are you doing? I'm paddling across the English Channel. Let's stop for a fag.
Exactly, yeah. His teammate loved it. So inspiration comes in all shapes, sizes, and from every place.
Damn straight, man. What are you raising funds for with this epic ride of yours?
So we're working with Save the Children because we raised funds for them last year with Evangeline and Sebastian, and really good people, working tirelessly in the UK and around the world. And I think there's often question marks about which charity do you want to raise money for. And having met people in person and seeing the work that they're doing and how passionate they are, that was an obvious choice for us. And then RNIB, so the Royal National Institute for the Blind. Do
they get anywhere near as much money as they should?
I would imagine not. Reading between the lines, I think. Again, they're working tirelessly and they're doing really important work. I think more than 2 million people 2 million people in the UK, and I wanted to support. They were my go-to when I was first diagnosed. You can connect with the RNIB and it still feel supportive without feeling invasive. And they give lots of practical support as well as emotional support. And they were my go-to, and I think it's important to support the group, support the people who are working hard in places that I can't help everybody in the way that I'd like to. So this is an opportunity for me to do a little bit, and if that's beneficial and helpful, then that's wonderful.
What do you think you're going to be able to raise?
We're aiming for £10,000.
Wow.
Hopefully, we can get a bit more. Yeah, fingers crossed. And then we've got somebody who's on the ride with us as well. He's the guy who did the route. His company said they'll match fund anything up to, I think, £3,000. So we're in a really nice, real positive position, I think. If we can share that between the two charities.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
superb. Yeah.
Gavin, if you don't mind me asking, because I know you're busy, you've got loads of interviews to do today, but if I've got you for a few more minutes, I hope. Have I? A few more minutes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that okay? All right, great.
Yeah.
Could you, and you can always say no, we're not the BBC, so if you don't want to answer, how did you first realise that there was a problem with your eyesight?
It was little things, not seeing things, tripping over, crashing into things. Things hit me in the head, knocking glasses over. So things which, like I say, on some levels I could just attribute to I'm not paying enough attention, but they started to get progressively worse. And to be honest, it was my wife who really brought my attention to it, and she was like, because she sees the things I miss, and she said, there's something going on, we should try and get to the bottom of it. Now, once I was diagnosed, then you start to think back and, oh, goodness gracious, I remember that time years ago when this happened or that happened. And I was always banging into things. I was always banging my knees on things. And I just brushed it away. So, probably 20 plus years ago, and maybe even before that, I can think of moments at school when I was like, oh, that now makes sense. Wow. But again, because it's being progressive, I think in some ways, whether you are adapting or not, you think you are, and you're coming to terms with or adapting to the realities of living like that. But yeah, it's a funny one, and it can change from day to day as well. So there's so many variables and factors, and to be honest, I think actually for me, eating fairly healthily, easing off on the coffee, easing off on the alcohol, though that's been helpful as well. I don't know if I'll be able to sustain that after the ride, but
well, no, we've got some lovely messages coming in for you, Gavin, from Chrissy Richards, who's over in Spain. Very brave man. He looks young to have that, normally associated with elderly. Yep. And Sue Sleet, this is a nice one, and you might want to take this up. Sue Sleet, who's in Fife in Scotland. When is Gavin going to be on the east coast of Scotland? Would love to cheer him on. Oh,
that's lovely. That'll probably likely the 9th. We get into Scotland on the first day. As you can imagine, covering 230 miles a day, we cover some ground. So that's probably going to be 8, 9, the 10th, 11th, I think, of August, something like that. Right. But yeah, any support, whether that's online, in person, cheering out, we love that. There's so much positivity, and we're really grateful. So thank you for that, Sue.
Now, this is we're staying in Scotland for some reason. We dash across from Fife to Edinburgh. My mum has macular degeneration. She's amazing at 88, gets injections. We see younger people at appointments. In the age of a technology, this will only get worse. Why would that be? Why do you think that?
I'm wondering if that's to do with kind of eye strain and looking at screens all the time. I can definitely feel it. If I spend a day looking at screens for whatever reason, I need to be outside. I need the greenery to.
Can I make a suggestion? I only look at. I have reading glasses. I don't need glasses otherwise, which is a miracle, frankly. But I always have blue tinted. And these either they're blue tinted, so they take away the strain, because obviously I'm on the screen all day, especially when you're writing a book. And these are new tinted as well, and they take away that whole, when your eyes are streaming, you need blue tinted glasses. Just they take away some level. With my dad, and I'd like to ask you, Gavin, the way it was described to me by his medical folks is that, say you buy some kitchen roll, like kitchen foil or something, and you got the tube in the middle. If you got 2 of those and put them over your eyes, that's your field of vision. In other words, your peripheral vision closes, and it's like looking through that. And he wouldn't stop driving. So of course we had so many near misses. I was a little kid, and I said eventually, Dad, if you don't stop, hand your license in, just stop driving, I'm going to have to report you to the police, because you're going to kill somebody. I don't think he cared if he lived or died.
Sorry.
Horrible, Oh, have you frozen? I think Gavin's frozen there for a minute there. Gavin, can you hear us? No. Unfortunately, seems that Gavin has frozen up there in the Lake District, which is a shame. Isn't he a brave guy? Gavin, can you hear us? You might want to reconnect if you possibly can. Wow. And for once it's not me. Because I've got fibre optic. For reasons that I won't bother to bore you with. Gavin, we seem to have lost Gavin. No, I'm gonna. There we are. That's it. Right. So this is interesting, isn't it? It was very, very. I wonder if Gavin's going to come back. See if he can reconnect. What a brave guy. What a brave guy. You know, brave man. It was terrible with my father. Terrible. I'll be absolutely honest with you. You know, he went from this sort of dashing fellow, and I just watched his world get smaller and smaller. It was horrible. And he fought it. And it put him into a permanent sort of rage. He was so angry about it. And I don't bloody blame him. Absolutely honest with you. I don't blame him for it. You know, but he couldn't drive eventually. It was horrid. Which brings us back to dementia, because I don't know what happened to Gavin. Gavin's totally disappeared. I wish he'd come back. Fascinating guest. Can you imagine riding around the entire coast of Britain? Can you imagine that? Riding around the entire coast of Britain. I couldn't imagine riding 5 miles. I keep thinking, I don't know about you guys, my one dread is going blind, says Chrissy Richards. Yeah. Well, I think as we get older, there's a lot of things that we dread. One is going blind. One is getting cancer. One is getting dementia or Alzheimer's. I think these are real fears, and people don't talk about it because they're so horrific. But we try and be grown up here on men's radio and women's radio. You know, it's for adults. It's radio for grown-ups. We can't sugarcoat everything in life. They're real fears. And you're entitled to be scared about it, but you can acknowledge it and then move on. I don't know what the technical way that psychologists and counsellors would say, but you can acknowledge it, but you can't let it terrify you for the rest of your life. I think as we get older, you know, the fears are Alzheimer's, cancer, major illness, and losing your home, not having a roof on your head. Probably. Those are the things that scare people. I think those are the things that scare people. It's a lousy condition, and as I said, I lived with it with my father for many, many years, and if we were in a restaurant, you know, I'd always hold his arm and we'd walk across and all that sort of stuff. And he was a very proud guy, an immaculate guy, very proud. And he loathed it. And I get it. He railed against it. And I get why he did. It's okay. I think I've come to understand him better. Maybe once you start to understand yourself a little bit better, you kind of understand other people a little bit better. When you try, that's what you try. So that's sad about it. So your mum's doing well, Veronica Curran, up in there in Edinburgh. Macular degeneration. She's 88 and gets an injection. I mean, things have improved. Things have improved so much over where they were. So much over where they were, indeed. And you see how people can be resilient, and they fight these things, and so much of it is your mental health. No two ways. So much of it is up here. Many years ago I attended a lecture. I was dragged along, I was dreading it, and it was Genius by Deepak Chopra at the Royal Geographical Society. It was wonderful. Guy came out, I think I mentioned it before, didn't have any notes in front of it. I don't have any notes, by the way, I just do it. But not giving a 2-hour lecture. And he gave 2-hour lecture without any notes and took us into the realms of physics and science. And he explained it in such a way even an idiot like me could understand it. It was wonderful. And I've never forgotten what he said. It must have been 25, 30 years ago. That he said, your mind, your brain is the greatest pharmacy in the world. Your brain produces everything that you need. And it's so true. It's not just, I'm in a good mood, I'm feeling happy. it produces the endorphins, it produces the serotonin, all the things that you need to be happy and healthy. And it's all up there. It is extraordinary. Let's dash across to Spain. Chrissy Richards, I'm happier today. Oh man, I'm happier today. No contact with my daughter for 2 weeks. Worrying, as you can imagine. And today she rang me, thanks to my other daughter, who posted her a phone. She is so careless with phones. You know, Chrissy, it's an ongoing story with you, and I'd like to kind of broaden the conversation in our last few minutes together, because a constant worry for you, nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. I've come to the conclusion that people can only get better, because I know your daughter's got a lot of issues. We know that. And I'm not going to discuss them. That's for you to discuss, not for me. People can only get better if they want to get better. If they don't have that starting point, you're wasting your time. You're on a hiding to nothing. They're not going to improve. They've got to want to get better. They've got to want to take that first step, whatever it might be, to go see a counsellor, to go see a doctor, whatever it might be. But if you sit there and go, oh, no one's going to be able to help me, you walk away. Walk away. You can't help them. Cardiology appointment. It says Veronica Curran. She got told she's going to live 70. That's 70 is 20, that's 70, isn't it? Yeah. 70 years. Calm sister took her. She has a determination, still cooks, makes soup, and is a wee diamond. Hey, she's a wee diamond. Gotta love that. Are you actually Scottish, Veronica? I don't know, because a lot of people, go and like Sue Sleet. I don't think is Scottish, because she lived in Bromley and then Staples Corner in North London, right? It's a shame we lost Gavin. I was really enjoying our chat. I don't know what happened to me. Just disappeared off the face of the earth. Are you Scottish, Veronica? I have no idea. You could be Scottish, maybe not. Do you know we've got record viewing figures today? This is amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Because I've got all the stats in front of me, and we're absolute record. It's extraordinary, isn't it? You guys never fail to absolutely amaze me. But what I was going to say, Veronica Curran, 100% Scottish. Great. Fantastic. One day we'll get back to Edinburgh and I will be able to meet you in person, which would be absolutely lovely. I found the pictures of me doing the Edinburgh Fringe from 2 years ago. I had a ball. I had an absolute blast. I loved every second of it. Wonderful. Incredible experience. I don't know if I can do it again, but maybe I could. I don't know. It's all about time, isn't it? I was just saying this, Chrissy Richards' point. Do we ever stop being parents? Ever? I don't think we do. Chrissy Richards' daughters are obviously fully grown up and everything, and she worries herself sick over it because, again, you want the absolute best for them, don't you? That's what you want. You want the best for your family. You always want the best. Always want the best for your family and your kids. Oh, hello. Paul Claridge, Croydon Update. Oh, my God. Yesterday, the abuse took an odd turn. This time, a bloke, dressed like a poor version of Crocodile Dundee, accused me of being a communist sympathiser for taking wages for handing out the Evening Standard. He then screamed at me and others for at least a few hours before he eventually got bored and moved on. Paul, the one plus side, he didn't say, no, this is a knife. You don't want that. Paul, I don't know how you keep saying. I swear to God, I have absolutely no idea how you keep saying. What a life you lead. Veronica Curran, it would be lovely to meet you. I'm 54 and I'm still introduced as Mum's baby. She's 54 years old and her mum said, this is my little baby, it's Veronica. Sue Sleep, Men's radio station. I listen to that, bless you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Isn't it sweet? Oh, I've had a lovely day today. I've really, really enjoyed it. Your contribution, it's not your contribution, it's your show. I'm just like a hub. You know, I'm just like a hub, hopefully not a BT hub. I'm just like a hub, and it's your show. We will be back on Friday. I might have the idiot in the gloves back by then, or I might just continue to fire him. I don't know. Until then, have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Try and be happy. God bless.